back. It is April 27th, and we're going to hop over here and look at the S&P 500. So here's a snapshot from the Globex Open to the close today. And you can see we got this probe up here, which we talked about that in the pre-market video. So I'm going to get rid of some of that. And we'll go look at from here on basically what we said. Actually, while I was recording the video in the pre-market this morning, I said 85.50, and you can go back and watch that in that video, but I said 85.50 would need to get taken out for any higher. And they came back up and tested that as I was recording, and they held 85.50 to the tick. That was actually the swing high of the rest of the day there. They didn't take that out. Okay. And so that was our first clue that they wanted to come back a little bit more. So what did we see? Ultimately, they tried to push down below the CP, the 72 area. They first time came down, hit 72, bounced about 3 points. This was one of our trades in live trade signals, and then we ended up taking the rest at break even here, and then tried to probe down here to 69.25. Came no follow through for lower. Tried to come down here. Ultimately, of this whole day, in all of these 5-minute candles that traded down here at 72 at this CP, only one of these 5-minute candles closed below it. This one closed on it, but only one of these closed below it and immediately came back up above here. So pretty strong support that we had right here today at 72. That moved back up here. And by the way, if you just notice here, 85 to 72, basically a 13-point range. And look at what happened today. The majority of the trading happened inside of this 13-point range between the CP, CP, and 2 KPs in the middle. So there you have that. And pretty amazing how these things. So again, it's just amazing how these things will basically tell you what's going to happen ahead of time. Once they came up here towards the end of the day, that was the high tick was 85.25 to the tick right there, and then came back down here. So anyway, pretty amazing how that all works out. So there you have it. If you want to look at tomorrow, let's jump over there. Let's just talk about this real quick. So a couple of things. So pretty obvious short if you were here early. If you didn't get that one, I'd say pretty obvious buy right here off of this. I wouldn't have taken this one. Again, it was already tested right here, so I wouldn't have taken that right there. Pretty obvious buy, and then I think pretty obvious short right here. Not a lot of follow through, but so this one gave you about 3 points. And then this one, it came back up and tested 77. It came back down to 73, so it gave about 4 points. And then finally did break above it. I think this was a pretty obvious short here at 80.5. And that ended up coming down here. That gave you about 7 points out of that. A couple of long opportunities here, but no follow through. And then this is a pretty much a no-brainer here off of 77. And then don't love the short again off 85.25. I think we're going to push that eventually, but let's jump and look at tomorrow. So what happens tomorrow? We get a CP at 84.50 and we have a CP at 69.75, but we get rid of, or sorry, CPs here, but we get rid of these KPs in the middle, and that changes things a little bit. And then this is interesting because we have 86.50, 84.50, and then that CP down here. So then what else up above here? 99.50, 0.75, all that should sound pretty familiar. So we'll just see what happens here in the overnight session. All these prices should sound pretty familiar to you. There's 60.5. So all that should sound pretty familiar for some of what we've talked about. So there you have it. We'll see how things go in the overnight session. We'll be back in the morning with the pre-market walkthrough, and we will go from there. I hope everyone had a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you in the morning.